folks, thanks for joining me today. So today I know it's a couple of days before Mother's Day, but I had to do this for Mother's Day. So I'm just posting it a couple of days early. I really enjoyed doing this. I've just discovered this whole new style of kind of like a graffiti kind of um, I guess the way that you do the words and things like that. It's actually been quite fun. I've been playing around with it on a few things off camera, and I felt that it needed to be on a Mother's Day stone. So this is a heart mold that I got from the Happy Dotting Company, and there's a link in the description below if you want to get your own. But the heart mold, I use it for a lot of things that are like for memory stones, whether it's for someone who has passed or for like the birth of a new baby. So I don't usually do them quite often on camera because they are more personalized. But this one I thought we all have a huge heart for our mom, so why not do a Mother's Day stone on a heart stone? So that's what I'm doing. So you watched me do the design. I just drew it on with my General's charcoal pencil. And now I'm just doing some painting. Now, this is red paint. This is called True Red from Americana. And I found that I wasn't very patient with it. So when I first painted it on, then I went in with um, my sponge brush here, or my blending brush, and I was too quick. I should have let it dry and then go in with my blending brush because I ended up having to do like 4 coats on this. Now, I spared you guys to sit through 4 coats of paint and dry. So um, I just went ahead and did it and I just edited it out. So this here, I think, is like my third, I think, my third coat of the red paint. And I do one more after this, but I don't show you. So you don't have to worry about sitting through watching wet paint dry. So, but I use this True Red Americana. It's a new paint to me. It was a little bit thick. Um, so I guess what maybe I should have done was maybe put some Floetrol into it or maybe a little bit of water just to thin it out a little bit so that it gave me a little bit more even coverage. I find a lot of the newer paints are like that, a little bit thicker and need to have a little bit of fluency added to it. So whether it be water or Floetrol or whatever you want, I believe FolkArt makes some stuff as well, or DecoArt. And you can get it wherever you get your paints, whether it be at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Um, like I said in previous videos, I've been finding a lot of my paints at the Home Hardware, which has been really awesome. So, yeah, you just got to check out the consistency, I guess, before you start painting. So I went ahead and I sponged it all and I wanted to really sharpen up those edges. So now I'm just going in with one of my um, eyeliner brushes and just some black paint. And I'm just making those edges really sharp because I want them to be like block letters, but a little bit more kind of quirky, I guess, or wonky, so that they're not perfectly straight. Um, and that they have some character to them. So, and I add a lot of extra stuff to this, and this was really fun for me to do. I've done this technique on a smaller rock that I did not film. I wanted to see what the reception of it was, and it was very well received at some of the craft shows that I've been participating in. So I thought, let's go for the gusto and make it a mom rock. So now I'm going in with this is called uh, Pink Rose from FolkArt. And again, another new paint. I discovered that a lot of my paint over the winter that I hadn't used or hadn't rotated had separated. So I did have to go out and buy some more for my stash. So here's a little tip and trick with your paints. If you have them stored and you don't use them a lot, definitely rotate them if you have them on their side. If they are standing upright, put them upside down so they're standing on their lids, because that keeps all of the paint at the lid ready to flow out. And then if when you're using your paints and you open up the lid to squirt the bottle out into maybe like a paint tray or something, make sure you close that lid quickly because you don't want air to get in there because it does start to dry. And then you end up with lumps and clumps, and we don't want that in our paintings. So I have had to deal with that a few times, and that's when I decided it's time to replenish my stock. So I went ahead and I did that heart, and I'm gonna let it dry because I learned my lesson with the two M's that I did, and I moved on to the next heart, which is the one above there, and I'm using Wild Berry from Americana. Now, all of the paint colors that I do use are going to be listed in the description below. I may forget to mention what color I'm using or who it was made by. So I do make sure that I list that all in the description below because I don't want you guys to miss out. However, these are just the colors that I have available to me and they're only suggestion. What you need to do is go into your stash. Maybe your mom's favorite color is purple, or if it might be blue. So you might want to do the lettering a different color. You might want to do the hearts a different color. You might not even want to do hearts at all. Maybe your mom is more of a flower person than a heart person. Whatever it is, it's totally up to you on how you want to do this. I'm just here to show you the technique and then you make it yours. So I'm going in now and I am doing some white highlights. So this is just DecoArt white. The background is DecoArt black, which is what I use for all of my base coats, is the DecoArt either white or black, depending on the color that I'm going to use. And then I just go in with my fine lining brush there that I got from Amazon. I believe it's like a makeup applicator or eyeliner pencil brush. I'm not 100% sure, but I find they work great for these little details. So that's what I like about them. And I'm just going around the M's now. And now I'm doing kind of like a hashtag, but with multiple lines. And I do a close up for you so you see exactly what I'm doing because it is kind of hard to see. But it's basically a hashtag. And here you can see here, I just do a few little lines one direction and a few little lines in the other direction. And I'm not particular about where they are, if they connect, if they don't connect. I'm just doing it so that it almost looks like it's worn or it's a patch or something like that along those lines. And that just adds a little bit more to the definition of the word being more like a graffiti kind of style, and that's what I was going for. So I'm doing my second coat of what was that color? That's the Wild Berry from Americana. And because I'm going to shade it, so I'm going to use my blending brush. This is a homemade blending brush that I'm using here now. And I painted on some white. So while the pink is still wet, I painted on just a strip of white and then I'm blending it. And I'm going to do this with all of the hearts. So just so that you know that they will all have some shading done on them. So this one here that I'm painting, it's a smaller heart. So I thought, well, we should make it like a baby pink. So this is baby pink. And I do the same thing as I did with the other heart. So I just paint it on with the paintbrush and then I go in with a little bit of white and do some shading. So I have a light source and a dark source. And I do outline this as well to really make it pop off the rock, I guess, and make it look really pretty. So I was very, very happy on how this turned out. Very excited about doing this particular stone for Mother's Day. And to all of the mothers that are watching right now, I'd like to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I am a mother as well, and I obviously have a mother. And I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for the support of my mom or from my children. So it comes from both sides, right? And it's been a great journey, and it's a journey I'm still on as being a mom, and it's one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. So I don't know if you share the same feeling, but that's how I feel. And I truly hope that everyone has a great day on Mother's Day. You may not be able to spend it with your mom. Maybe your mom is in heaven, and so you can't spend the day with her. But I have to tell you, you can, because she's always with you. Moms never leave their children. So if you are celebrating and you don't have children, you're still a mom, because I'm sure you've got fur babies. And if you don't have fur babies, then I'm sure that you've got plant babies. So in one way or another, you're providing nurture to something, and that makes you a mom. And with that, I wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. So I'm going to get back to the painting here. So you've noticed that I am outlining the heart that's in the word mom with some black paint. And I'm doing that because I really want that heart to stand out, like, so it's in front of those two M's that are in behind it. And I'm also doing the outline for the other two hearts that are on there as well, because when I do my blending, I tend to go outside of the lines, and this just sharpens it back up. If you don't want it to have that kind of blurry kind of look, and you want it to be really sharp, then just do a quick outline with your background color, whatever color it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be black. It could be any color you have as your background color. Just outline it with that color, and it just sharpens it like just amazingly, so that it's crisp and it's sharp and it looks really good. So I wanted to add a little bit more element to this. So I got out my dotting tool, and I just walk some dots on either side of the M's, and then I do some on the bottom. So what I'm doing here is, it's called walking the dots, like I said, and you just load your tool, and without dipping it in again, you just continue up like an imaginary line, I guess. And as you go, the dots get smaller because there's less amount of paint on your tool. So it's a really quick and easy thing to do, and it adds such an amazing element to it. And you can use it in almost any painting at all. So I like doing it when I'm wanting something different, or to add, well, basically, I just love dots. So that's why I put that in there. The really neat thing is too, and I didn't do it on this one, but on your large dots, you can also put some bling bling in there. So if you've got any gems that are laying around that you want to use up, but you don't have a lot, maybe one or two, throw them in that first dot, and it just adds that little extra bling to it. So just get creative. Be like, do whatever you feel the creativity is getting you to do. So just go with the flow, if you will. So now I'm doing these stems, and I'm using my crystal green metallic paint by DecoArt. I have a lot of metallic paints, and I don't use them enough, and I really should, because they're absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to get them out, and I'm going to start using them some more, because they're amazing. I've used a lot of my glitter paints. I've used a lot of my top coats that have glitter in them, and the holographic I used in a tutorial, I think one or two tutorials ago. But they are absolutely amazing, especially after you've resined them. They are so beautiful and they stand out so bright and they shine and they glimmer and everything that I love, anyways. I love glitter. I love bling bling. It's really, really tough for me to walk by something that is glittery without stopping to take a look at it. So, yeah, I like the glitter and the bling bling. So I continue on with the hearts. This one I want to make it like a balloon kind of a heart or like a bubble, and then I've got to put a star on it. So that's what I'm going to do right here. So I just put a dot of white paint, and then I use my fine lining brush and just flick the paint out of the dot. That's it. That's all you got to do, and you've got this really pretty star on there. Then I go in, I outline the other two hearts, and I'm just sort of letting the paintbrush go where it wants to go. And I'm not being very particular or careful with it. And then I just clean it up and let it dry, give it a coat of resin, and it's finished. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.